tier 3. And as you can see, I'm going as compact as I could possibly get it to be. Ah, coucou Choquel. Ça fait un bail.
Alors, est-ce que je fais le petit système avec des lumières rouges qui clignotent quand il y a une erreur du
Hello everyone, I guess it is time. It's 2 o'clock and I think it's about time to get started. I want to kind of do a repeat of yesterday, hopefully a little more successfully. I want to gather a couple of more stacks of Nergite and ice, just one shipload of each of those two, and build some more magazines for points. Should probably turn this ship on, and then we'll work on those thrusters again. So I hope everyone is doing well today. I had a pretty good morning. The new computer case came today. Looking forward to getting everything shuffled out of this computer case into a new one that's better suited. Might give me a little better temperature work. I don't get bad temperatures now, but I think I can do a little better this current case. It doesn't have very good airflow at all. We're going to try and stay out of the clouds. So we're going to point over that way until we see some ice. Let's see. Am I coming out the right part? Yep, I'm going the right way. Oh, don't drift so far. Okay, so we're going the right way. And we're just looking for ice to start with. We need Nergite and we need ice. Make sure the ship is empty. The ship's not empty. Good thing I checked that. That would have been very disappointing to get very far away. Find out I never emptied the ship. So we only have 1,500 meters. Oh, look, there's an asteroid with ice right there. Which means last time that I did this, I didn't empty it and I could have made more. There's a few ice asteroids floating around out here. We don't have to go very far until they're all ice though. What is that? Oh, that's Mazra's ship. Django's ship. Try not to crash here. Transfer all. Alright, now we can turn around. Where was that ice guy at? It wasn't very far. Ooh, got a little lag here. I wonder what the deal is. I imagine most viewers are watching Happy's stream right now. He's working on his PvP ship, his meta fighter. So, I imagine that's where most of you are. He's been on a couple hours. Use the thrusters, melt the ice a little bit. Alright, we'll just start on the top. We'll chop this guy up, get what we can get. Nergite's the big one. So we're going to make a big hole, get ice and Nergite at the same time. That way we can be building something while we're working. The crafting queue can just be cranking away while I'm working on those thrusters. Almost didn't make it back in time. I went out this morning with some buddies and just came back a little bit ago. Had enough time to set everything up and get started here, but it was close. I hope you've all had a wonderful morning or day, depending on where on the planet you are. The workday should be over for most of you. Should be. Come on, where's the Nergite? There we go. Now we're getting down into the good stuff. We'll just chew this core out of here. Call it good. Should have eaten. Should have eaten something before starting, but didn't really have the time, so wait a couple more hours, be fine. I'll live. I'm a big boy. There we go, get down in here a little bit. High damage. Just one shipload so that I can have something building while I'm working on those thrusters. Figured I'll have something in the crafting queue while I'm working on those. So I'm just going to pick up one ship of ice and nergite. Work on those thrusters a bit. Maybe when the crafting queue finishes up, we'll come out and get another one. Try to break it up a little bit. How was your day, damage? I think if we fill this ship up once, we should be able to make 100 or so more. 100, maybe. Ha! It's gonna take a lot more paint than you thought. Yeah, I kind of anticipated it's gonna be an utterly absurd amount of paint to paint the station. I'm gonna need shiploads and shiploads of whatever the ores are. I think I did the math yesterday. I was gonna need like 150,000, 170,000 shield points. Ooh, Arcanium. Arcanium's my nemesis. You were finding it all over the place the other day. I don't even know which minerals I need. I haven't unlocked the colors yet. $140 arc in paint. 140 stacks of arc? Wow. That's a lot of Arcanium. That's 2 entire T10s worth. Almost. Alright, we're almost through the good stuff. This asteroid was not a T10. Nowhere near. It was big, not a T10. Yep. What color uses Arcanium? the red uses Arcanium. Yeah, because I'll need the bright orange, the black, the white, and the gray most likely are going to be the ones I end up using. Black, white, gray, orange. Black, white, gray, orange, white. And so I have to figure out what minerals those are, because I imagine some of them come from the moon, and it's going to be... That's just my luck that everything I need comes from somewhere I can't get to. Let's see, let's go to that one. Right there. Hopefully it's the right stuff. It's dark, which is a good start. That looks like it. Yep, that looks like it. Can you tell me what minerals orange, black, white, gray use? Let's see. Orange is citrite and carnite, citrite and carnite, coatonium, arcanium. Alright, so let's see. Citrite is going to be the thing I need a ton of just for the station in general. Going to need all the glass. Maybe once we get ship up and running. That's really our first goal, is to get out to the moon, get the allium and the citrite, so that we can make the capital ship. Carnite and coatonium, bastionite, nergite, gesium, terodium, volcarium, agitite, valkite. So all of it. You need all the normal stuff. I think citrite is the only one that you can't get around terodium, but I know where to get terodium. That's possible to get to. Hey Calmus, how are you? Four to 6 ores per color. I am gonna have to figure that out. Right. But if it doesn't go very far on stations, then you're gonna need a lot of it. Look at you and your custom dabbing emojis. Stacks are eaten. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Stations are big. is a much larger asteroid than the last one. Which is good. We're getting her done though. Just one chop at a time. I'm tired today for some reason. I didn't get up early or anything. I didn't do anything, versus your spawn. I needed 2 cans for 1 row of the roof. I now have 100 rows. 2 cans for 1, so you only need 200 cans. Alright, that looks like a full load of that. Let's top off whatever ice stacks we have partially done. Alright, that looks like it. Put that away. Where's my umbilical? There it is. Grinding? I mean grinding with like the saw grinding thing? Or with lasers? I have never touched a grinder in an asteroid. You mean like the cutoff saw? Oh, why am I out grinding? I needed some, oh, I always do hand mining. Hand mining is just the way that I mine. But, it's not too much of a grind. I didn't need very much. Woo. Alright, let's throw all this in the station, transfer everything. It's almost always a partial stack. Close the inventory, disconnect, jump up here to the crafting table. Hand mining is how all the cool kids do it. If you didn't know that, then you're not a cool kid. Be great if you would load. Today? Maybe? The ship does not look nearly as cool this way. Alright. It's gonna be hard to work on like this. That's loaded, all that stuff. Look, those ones down there are all LOD'd. We're gonna drop out to the main menu for a second. And then re-enter. Maybe. That should get rid of all the other ships that are loaded. And just load this guy. There we go. I completely thought I was on the other end of the ship. That's how bad the LOD was. Yeah, I rarely have anything last that long. That was 50. What does my yeah, let's turn off this. Let's look at, see where my shortage is. It doesn't look like it's Nergite. Ice. Still got that. And Bastion. Oh, there's the there's the kicker. We need to go... That's the catch. We need to go grab that, and then we can... Because we have everything else. Where'd you go? There's another ship right here. Just not... Oh, there it is. Whew. I need to get the station done with proper docking ports so that I can have it look cooler. Let's see, this way is up. Where's the big asteroid? There it is. Alright. We'll see what... Nope, that's a Gesium. That was the wrong rock. That generator script has really worked. Generator barely runs at all now. Remind me when I get back to make a couple of progress bars so I can see how much fuel we have left. How many fuel rods? I want a bigger asteroid than that. Let's go up to that one right there. Just a random asteroid that catches my attention. That's how I choose them. We're coming up on it. Work the drift. Come on, re-render, where are you? Ooh. That was closer than I wanted. Whew. Alright, stop there. Alright, I don't need the Valkite. I certainly still have a lot of that, but I do need the Bastion. I can't believe that was the thing that was holding me back. It took a lot less Bastion than it did anything else. But I must not have gotten very much. Am I not connected to the ship? Well, that'll make a difference. That'll make a difference. And now we just... We're connected to the ship. But we're not connected to the ship. This must not be configured right. That one was not configured right. Alright, let's try this for a third time. Still not grabbing it. Inventory. What in the hell? Alright, let's try. See if that's the problem. See if there's something wrong with that resource. Yep, something's wrong with that one. Okay. Well, last minute. Now we at least know what to fix. I'm just dying to rip open the box of this PC case that came today. I haven't even got it open. Pretty excited. It's a case by Thermal Take. It's the company that makes it. It's called the Core V21, and it's designed to be stacked with other matching cases so that I can have a gaming PC stacked on top of a streaming PC stacked on top of the media server I'm hoping to build here in the next couple of weeks. And then I would transfer all of my family's DVDs and Blu-rays and onto a streaming media server. I can stop having bookshelves full of CD cases, DVD cases. But the box is right next to me. I'm dying to get into it. But I didn't want to touch it until tonight's stream is over. Yep, that's I hope to use Plex, but store everything locally. We get lots of videos. My kids play soccer and all their games are captured on something called I think it's called a VO camera, but it's like 180 or a 220 degree camera that tracks the kids, so we like to rewatch the games and talk about it. So when we go to upload those games, be able to watch them on the TV. I've not messed with Plex, but that's the service I planned on using for interfacing with it. I also just want to use it as a general NAS for storing pictures. My wife has thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. Probably in excess of 30,000 photos that she's taken. So this particular case can hold, in its current state, would hold, I think, 6 or 7 drives with the built-in hardware hard drive racks, but there's enough space in the case that I could easily fit 4 or 5 more. I would just have to design and 3D print the hard drive racks. Yeah, I've never had a media server, so I will definitely have to find somebody to help me set it up so that I can start ripping, because it's just going to take time to rip all the DVDs. But I'm pretty excited about actually building the PCs. Something I used to do is build all my own PCs. And then I had a PC go out on me. Oh, this was probably 10 years ago. I had a PC go out on me. And I needed one right away. And a buddy of mine had just built one, so I bought it. And it lasted forever. It was really well built. And then it started to blue screen on me a few years ago. So, and I was in the middle of a work project where I had to have a machine right now. So I bought a pre-built one, which is what I'm using right now. And I'm sort of regretting, the components in it are fine. There's a Ryzen 7 CPU. It's got a NVIDIA 2070 Ti in it. It's got 32 gig of RAM. That's I think it's either Corsair or G-Skills. I don't remember which one. So it's got decent components. It's got a Corsair power supply, but the case is awful. The case, it has a micro ATX motherboard in it, which is fine. I don't need a bunch of PCIe slots for what I do. The motherboard is fine. It's not great. It's a ASRock, I want to say BM450 AC, but those are just numbers. They don't mean anything to me. I just happen to have looked at them. But the way the graphics card sits in the case, it puts the fans right against the bottom of the compartment, so there's no airflow through the graphics card. It's all constricted by the design of the case. So, and I don't have bad thermals, but I've put I filled every fan slot in there trying to get some airflow, and the fan setup's not great, so the case is just shit. So I bought this case. It's like I said, it's thermal. It was like $70. It's not a high-end case, but I like the fact that it's stackable, and it also allows you to determine the orientation of the hard drive. You can either have a traditional vertical hard drives, or not hard drive, motherboard setup, traditional vertical motherboard setup. You can have a horizontal setup where the graphics card sits on top of the motherboard, or you can Hi, Lee. It's been a while since I've seen you. And yep, just smacking rock. Or you can have the motherboard turned so it's kind of inverted and the graphics card hangs from it. I do not know which way is best. So yeah, if you look it up, it's a Thermaltake V21. And I'm not saying it's the world's greatest case, but I think it suits my needs because I would have put all of them together in one spot. That's probably not enough. This case also comes with a 220mm fan on the front of it. Right? It has a huge front-facing fan, which you can use or not use. But it pushes, even by itself, if you were to put a traditional fan, a rear-facing exhaust fan, the front 220mm fan would probably cool it pretty well just by itself, but my hope is to set it up to have a lateral airflow where it sucks it in one side and exhausts it out the other. I don't worry about noise, and I'm not 18 years old. I don't need a bunch of RGB lights. Like, it sits in my office. Nobody is ever going to see it. The lights just create heat. So I just need high static pressure fans and it'll all be good. But I want to get the streaming off of the gaming PC and just run it all through a capture card just to get better. Right? You right? I don't, and it's hard. You can't even like turn it off. Like the fans are all lit, which I mean, they're cool, I guess. But nobody ever sees them, and I don't sit here and stare at my computer. So it just seems like a lot of extra heat and electricity that doesn't need to be there. There's a couple of companies that make, Thermaltake makes some fans without lights. But I also think it's funny, you'll watch some people stream their games and they make sure that their PC is in the image. You get to look at the rainbow switching lights. External water cooling. I put headphones on. My fans, the fans on my PC, they just run. They auto run, and there's a lot of them. There's like 5 140mm fans in this. I wear headphones, and I can't possibly hear it. And it's like 4 feet from me. Hello, Django. You wanted to do an external water? I've got enough space in my office, I could hook it to a 55-gallon drum. Have a really large external water source. Just put an oil drum in here full of antifreeze. The case you have has a spot for external water cooling too. External water cooling? Oh, I guess so, because it has a grommet in the back for running stuff through. Yeah, I didn't think of that. It didn't even occur to me what that was for. But yeah, that would be hose push-throughs for an external reservoir. I was just gonna. It has spots for 280mm AIO, which was all I was going to do, was just a standard AIO on the gaming PC. The other two shouldn't even generate heat, really. They are going to be pretty low budget. I'll get high quality hard drives for the NAS, for the media server. I'll get decent quality actual hard drives. But for the rest of it, it shouldn't generate that much heat. Not so much that just good airflow won't Yeah, I like the idea of stacking them. I'll put the gaming PC on top since it'll generate the most heat, and the NAS on the bottom, and the streaming in the middle. And I will have them vent right to left or left to right, so they're not even venting into one another. The PC, the gaming one on the top, will have water-cooled AIO for the processor, but the rest of them shouldn't generate any heat. They should be well within the specs of air cooling. Yeah, I figured I would just run decent, as long as I buy decent hard drives. They should last for quite a while. The case will hold 6, in its stock configuration, it'll hold 6 2.5s, or 3 2.5s and 3 3.5s. But there's a lot of space inside, and I can 3D print a rack setup to hold a ton of 2.5-inch drives. I do use SSDs. Those are the 2.5 ones are SSDs. 3.5 is a traditional disked moving disk hard drive. And if I put it on a mini ATX board, I would still have one PCIe slot, because it doesn't even really need a graphics card. Yeah, SSDs usually you don't use them for mass storage. And that's just a cost thing. They're usually just more expensive, but the price of SSDs are coming down. At those temperatures, damage, just pipe it into the radiators in your house. Does your house use a boiler for heat? Just pipe it into the house at that point. The failure rate is faster on SSDs. I'd have to see which drives are best and how many I'll need. I've never messed with a media server, so it's going to take a little bit to get it set up. I have a handful of old SSDs, somewhere right around me, and they're smaller ones, but I figured I would use those to get it set it up and test it. And then I have a couple of 2 terabyte hard drives around as well. Once they start banning, so here was a funny thing happened. Oh, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago now. Is the state of California put out some legislation that there's supposed to be only electric cars by 2030, which is 7 years from now. And in the very same week, they also put out a request that nobody charge their electric cars because the grid was overheating. All in the same breath, essentially. Buy electric cars, everything's going to be electric. Please don't charge your electric cars. We can't handle it. For my current build is 4 500 gig SSDs in a RAID 10. And you have another one for OS, for the OS and stuff. I figured I would just use an NVMe or something for the OS. Just for space. Put a 500 gig NVMe or something on it. M.2. Multiplex is a wood kind? What's a wood kind? Yeah. Yeah, so As long there's most hard drives now will have, or most motherboards now will have 2 NVMe slots on M.2 slots on them now. So you can put one for OS, and then the other thing I've seen is PCIe cards that will hold 4 or 5 M.2 drives, or I don't know if you want to call them M.2 or NVMe, but pressed wood glue stuff. Oh, you mean like ply? We call it plywood or fiber board. There's a, and then there's one called medium density fiber board. So we have plywood, oriented strand board is another one. But you're saying multiplex is the word you guys use for that stuff? Particle board, yep. Those are all different things in the construction industry, though. Let me see if I can. So there's something we have called OSB, which is oriented strand board, which looks, or it's often called chipboard. Let me bring up a browser. So chipboard looks like this stuff, like this. It's the pieces are actually oriented in a particular manner, and then we have what's called plywood, which plywood is, you gonna work with me today? The Home Depot site, there we go. Plywood is, it's hard to see, but there's layers of wood, and then in between there is like sawdust compressed with glue. And then there's something called MDF, medium density fiber board, which is like this stuff, which is like just pure sawdust and glue smushed together. So a marine plywood, well, marine plywood is traditional plywood, so it's a thinly shaved veneer of wood with fiber layers in the middle, but marine plywood is all impregnated with chemicals to make it water resistant, and they often rotate the fibers in marine plywood so the grain of the wood goes the opposite direction in every other layer, making it incredibly rigid and water resistant. I worked in construction for a while. I'm not meant for that kind of work. I've done the most obscure jobs that an individual. My resume is a mess. It's not a bad thing. I've just worked in all sorts of different industries. MDF is your multiplex. That's just sawdust and glue smushed together into a piece of wood. It has purposes. There's lots of things that you can work for, but it is not a structural material. And where am I going? I was in the right spot. Oh, I'm getting so much lag as things are trying to load. Does anybody else? The best wood comes from Guyana. Why Guyana? Do they have a... I'm assuming they have some species of wood that's better. Here everything is made out of spruce, pine, or fir, F-I-R. The problem is people try to use it too much. I mean, your multiplex is the only thing it should ever be used for is crafts. It's craft wood. It shouldn't be used for anything other than, right, MDF. Yeah, it should not be used for anything but non-structural junk. SSD prices are coming way... Now we can make a lot more of those. There we go. We'll make 200 of those. Well, you know what? Crappy cabinets. When I bought my house, and they're still in there now, the cabinets, The actual cabinet body is made out of that crappy wood, but the cabinet faces are made out of a beautiful oak here, but the body of the cabinet is garbage. As soon as it gets any moisture, like if you have teenagers who put wet dishes in the cabinet, it will just soak it up like a sponge. I can't tell. Do these still have juice in them? They do. Yeah, they just soak the moisture up like a sponge and it just ruins them. Alright, we're on thrusters, aren't we? I've never even heard of those things, Django. Now, granted, we live in America and they have different names for everything, and we tend to buy junk here. I have never heard of those kinds of lumber ever. Well, that's what the internet's for. Let's do that. We're not in any hurry. Let us look up. Hi, Death Sun. Oof. IKEA. Yes, IKEA. That's what IKEA's wood is made out of. Green Heart lumber. And you say it's from Guyana? Green Heart. Oh, let me turn on the browser. I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe I can make it a little... I mean, if I can see it, you should be able to see it. Green Heart is a magnificent hardwood sourced in South America, specifically Guyana, Suriname, Brazil, and Venezuela. It's one of the densest and strongest hardwoods in nature. And let's see, what'd you call the other one? That stuff's insane. Purple Heart. Oh, that's just gorgeous. What is Purple Heart? It is an incredibly strong and durable type of wood originating from the Peltagine genus of 23 species of large trees that can be found growing natively on the territory between Mexico and Brazil. Why don't we have that here? I mean, Mexico is our neighbor. Now, are these like... These aren't really construction lumbers. They're more like furniture lumber, I'm guessing. Oh, you lived in Guyana? Like, I've been in and out of construction for years. My family's big into it. But I've never... Use Purple Heart for doors. Well, I imagine it's the purple color that images. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is like the stuff they sell for wood craftsmen to make tables and things out of. But that is cool. It does have like a snaky pattern to it. That's pretty awesome. I have never seen that before, Django. Thank you for introducing that to me. This is the kind of stuff I'll buy for my brother for Christmas. Usually just to throw him off. I'll buy him some weird thing and he has to use it. The multiplex I was talking about it's a beverage chiller. So it's like an electric cooler that keeps the water right. Yeah, if you put antifreeze in the water, you could probably get it closer to 0 as opposed to 32. I don't have any temperature issues. This PC has well, I don't know. Let me see. This is why we have computers. HW monitor. Let's see what my temperatures are. When I was playing Star Citizen, I watched them really closely because that game is so hard on your computer. That's all I want to care about is temperatures. We're going to turn everything else you don't need to see. Temperatures, utilization, We don't need the hard drives. All of my clocks are fairly standard. So let's see. I can't, that's not a... Alright, so the Ryzen 7 3700X. My temperatures are at like 38 to 40 C. And the graphics card is running 67 to 70 C. There's a hot spot at 77, but everything else is running 66, 70. Those are all decent temperatures. But yeah, that's pretty normal. But the graphics card would run a lot cooler. I bet it would run 5 to 10 degrees cooler once I get it out of this stupid case where the fans are pressed right up against the power supply. There's I want to say less than half an inch, 3/8 of an inch, which in centimeters that's going to be, or millimeters, maybe a half a centimeter, something like that, closer to 3/4 of a centimeter. And there's just no airflow. You can feel it when you put your hands up against it. You can feel those fans trying to draw air in through that tiny gap. So I think I would get a lot better. Yeah, and this only has the standard, you know, AMD Wraith air cooler on it. Nothing fancy. But this new case is going to give me a lot more options. And this graphics card sags like a bad graphics card. So if I the new graphics card cooled your systems? Probably because the new graphics cards often have huge fans on them. I think my graphics card's a fairly standard. It's not NVIDIA, it's Gigabyte. So, yeah, the Wraith cooler that comes with Ryzen's is nice. The only thing is the fins on the heat sink are very close together, which makes them diffuse heat pretty well, but it also gets clogged with dust real easy. Oh, that's right, because you run twin 3080s or something, right? I don't have the need for that. The hell am I doing? Thrusters. Oh, I already got them down here. Building them, right? I don't have... That's a custom triangle. Let's see what this guy is. Oh, those ones are just bolted together, so let's... I remember doing that. Your old system was 4 Titan Blacks? Is 2 3090... Oh, that's right. You have like the $2,000 graphics cards. You must render a lot of video. I don't... When I used to render videos... because I built a, this was years ago now, and it didn't really take off, but I did a bunch of it. Let me see if I can find one. I'm gonna have to, let me log out. Oh no, that's not what I want. I wanted YouTube. If I jump on YouTube, just so you know, if you ever want to watch the videos, they're also on YouTube and Rumble. Well, that's a big jump. Dirty. A 980 to a 3090. That means you skip what, 1080s, 2080s, straight to a 3080. All right, let me see if I can find one of my original videos. I made a little robot that would take 360 videos of houses, usually rental houses, and but it would keep you out of the image. I'm trying to find. I've got loads of. I think it's this one. Let me see. Yeah, I think this one will work. Let's go. Let me see if I can show you this video. I just want to see the video. I don't want to show you my with the browser. So this is a 360 video. I can't mess with it right now for whatever reason. Why don't you let me play with it? Hold on. Just let me watch the damn video. Oh, now I have to watch an ad about EVE Online. There we go. Now we'll try it. Alright, so this was one of the very first houses I did. But these are 360 videos, so you get to choose where you can look. That was my company logo. So if you're on your phone, you can just look around. But this lets you see the entire house. And there's nobody in the picture. You can go all the way around you. You can look at the ceiling. You can look at the floor. So, but if you're looking at this on your phone, then it uses the force sensors in your phone to look around. You know what 360 videos are. But so I used to render a bunch of those videos. And if you want to talk about resource hogging videos, try doing 360 videos. They are really hard on your machine. EVE Online got picked up by another company. They're now owned by the company that did, is it Black Oasis? What is the name of that game? Is that what it's called? Black Desert Online. I think that's what it's called. Black Desert Online. Whatever company that is. Pearl Abyss. So it was picked up by Pearl Abyss. I actually took them in 4K damage, so they were 4K video and 360, which is just a strange resolution. But anyways, the game is struggling because when Black Desert took the company over, they changed a lot of things internally which players didn't like, so tons of players left. Alright, let's go back and see if we can find what else is in our inventory. I think we have another triangle thruster there. So you burn your system. Yeah, and that's what happened to my old system. Nothing broke on my old system, but the motherboard was starting to go. At that point it was... Oh, there's some... Hard points are missing. That's not good. At that point my system was already 7 or 8 years old, and I kept upgrading it, but it just wasn't enough. If all the EVE players came to Starbase, you guys would be very, very sad. EVE players are all PvP. Not all. There's a huge number of PvP-oriented players. That game is very conflict-oriented. In a good way. But, it's definitely a different sort of world in EVE. Well, the nasty PvP in EVE is kind of, it's baked into the game. Like, owning territory is a thing in that game. You have to fight over it. That's where all the best resources are. Like, and being a pirate is fun in that game. I loved being a pirate. I feel like I'm missing one there. Let's see if we can get one right down in there. Starbase seems to have what, plenty of pirates? PvP oriented? Yeah, but the PvP that I've seen in Starbase so far has been very, very friendly PvP. in Eve, it's not always the case that it's friendly. Oh, I got those. This one's missing. But I think Eve Online is the best game I've ever played. Not so much now. They've changed a bunch of stuff, which makes it a lot less fun. But it's still an amazing game. Starbase is just a completely different animal. Nope. I know the problem. So I pay one time a lot of money for a big system, and after this I use the system now 7-8 years. The only thing I changed was the graphics card, and now I think about a new CPU, but I don't know what kind of CPU I need. It's the same problem with my GPU. 4 Titans are only 5% slower than one 3090. There's nothing that's really faster for your person. A Threadripper. That's what you need, is a Threadripper with 64 cores. Anything that requires those sort of loads, you need more and more cores now. But it also depends on the software you're using. Is it optimized for using tons of cores? What do you use for rendering the video? And do you use Adobe, or are you using DaVinci Resolve, or what's your software of choice for video making? I always use DaVinci Resolve because it's cheap. 2 rippers? Yeah, well, I mean, do you really need 2 rippers after that 64 core monster that they sell? Or 64 threads, 32 cores? It all depends on your motherboard, what your motherboard's not capable with, compatible with. You know, is it an Intel motherboard? Is it an AMD? Motherboard's usually what determines how far you can upgrade your system. Alright, those look... Now we gotta pipe them. So those guys are all red, but I expect that. This all looks green now. Excellent. I don't know why you're not green, but... Oh, don't fall. Stop falling. If it's that old, you need a new other... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If it's 7 or 8 years old, the motherboard is going to be the limiting factor. Even though your motherboard says it could take 128 cores, it just might not be compatible with the new generations of processors. That's what my problem with my old computer really was that the motherboard started to go, and there was no use buying a motherboard for a obsolete set of processors. I like DaVinci Resolve. 2 things: it's free, and it works well. I mean, what more could you ask for? I need to get all those thruster parts in my inventory. Come on, where's the centers? Do I not have any more? Oh, they're there. The internals. That's tier 1 nozzles. Is that a tier 2 box? Tier 1 box. Tier 2 box. Internals, nozzles, tier 2 nozzles. Tier 2 electricity converters. Tier 2 propellant converters. I need a new motherboard, CPU, and RAM, but my system's not bad and it's working, so you don't know if it's needed. I mean, that's the thing, is you could always spend more money, but do you actually need it? That's kind of what I've been trying to figure out, whether I'm gonna build a new machine or I know I'm gonna take this machine apart and it'll probably end up being I'll probably end up using it as all the pieces from it for my streaming PC, and then get new pieces for the media server, which does not need a ton of resources. It doesn't need to be great. It doesn't really need to be high-end parts. So, oh man, you've only got a 4-thread, so an old quad-core Intel or something in it. That's what I converted from, was an old i5 to a Ryzen 7. It was a big upgrade. I went from 4 cores, 4 threads to 8 cores, 16 threads, and it made a huge difference in how smooth everything ran. But I'm hoping this evening, after the stream, I'll be able to put this together and it'll work. Use a cheap, simple 4 hard drive NAS system. It's not fast, but it works as more hard drive space. Yeah, and I'm going to set this mostly up as a NAS, like Thomas said, in either a RAID 5 or a RAID 10 setup. I'll have to look and see which one works better. And then I will have to design and print hard drive holders to get more hard drive space. I mean, it has a lot, but I will probably use traditional hard drives, aside from the couple of smaller SSDs I have around here. Use those for an OS drive or an M.2. A Ryzen 5 3400G and a GTX 1070. I mean, neither of those are bad things. It's I don't think you need the G on there anymore though. Like if you're running a 1070, you don't need to pay for the inbuilt graphics card. But a Ryzen 5 3400 is kind of a middle of the road card, or a processor. But you could get yourself into a new, maybe Ryzen 7. I think they call them 5800s now. They're like $170 or something. But once you do that, you probably need a new hard drive. It's just one of those things, like, you only need to upgrade one thing, but in order to upgrade that, you have to upgrade 8 other things, and that's where the money just gets you. And graphics cards right now, I thought that the 30 series prices would come down, but I think they're still overpriced. You're bored? Not allowed to get bored in this game. There's so much to do. So much to do. Oh, stop. There. Okay, there we go. And the nozzle. You're painting the station now for 4 hours. Set up the dogs. Dogs? What dogs? This game doesn't have dogs. Dogs would be cool. Robot space dogs. Alright, 3 more. 4 more, 5 more, 6 more, 7 more. 3 boxes, 3 triangles. This never works when I try to do more than one at a time. A junkyard needs junkyard dogs. Yep, the stereotype requires it. Alright, now we need electricity converters. Go there. Gotta get above it. There we go. Come on, go in there. Thank you. There's one. And the last one. There. I grew up working on cars. I don't remember dogs actually being at junkyards, and I've been at a lot of junkyards. I come from a car family. We used to buy cars straight from the junkyard to fix them up. When I was a teenager, I used to buy used tires at the junkyard for $5 a piece, so that I could keep tires on my car. Because I used to spin the tires everywhere I went and just ruined tires constantly. Make sure you're all bolted. You appear to be. But I didn't see any junkyard dogs any more than you would see at any other business. I was at a place this morning that had a beautiful and friendly Australian Shepherd. Gorgeous dog. You have rattlesnakes and bees. You don't have bees in Germany? That's funny. Chopper? Sick balls? Right, that's a weird collection of words I'm not getting. Not your kind of killer bees. Those are actually Africanized bees. Killer bee is just a misnomer. That's just an Africanized European honeybee, because we don't actually have native honeybees here. All of our bees are imported from Europe or Russia or Italy. Because usually by Italian, Carnelian, or Russian black bees. I used to keep bees, believe it or not. I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but I really did have a very weird life. I owned a farm for a little bit. We had all that stuff. What am I missing? That doesn't have as many pieces, right? Thrusters. I got the boxes, the internals, 2 parts. That's it. But we don't have these kind of bad bees. I bet you probably do. They're kind of everywhere now, and they're not like, they're no different than a regular honeybee. They don't look any different. They're just more protective And stupid people find bees in stupid ways. But I would imagine Africanized honeybees have made their way. Why is that a different color? Like, these are all red, but that's like a different red. What is different about that? Is that a tier 1 maybe? No, they're the same body. Why is that one? What's from? Here we go. Oh, now it's just the same color, red. Okay. Oh, it's from Stand By Me. Oh my gosh, you quote some of the strangest movies. I can't even remember the plot of Stand By Me right now. In Germany, we only have the normal bees. We don't need the whole hive if you mess around with them. Well, all honeybees do that. If you smash a honeybee near the hive, they will all come get you. Even regular bees. Sans Africanized. But Africanized are just more, they are a bit more energetic in that process. I can't tell you how many times I've been stung by a bee. I mean, it's got to be near 100. Because they'll get you if you start dorking around. If you're careful in the hive, you don't even need any protective equipment. But if it only takes you opening the hive wrong once, or if you smash a couple when you're trying to put the lid back on, that can start a problem. But if you're super careful, it doesn't. Just imagine in Africa, that's how all honeybees are. They don't even make much honey. African wild bees are super aggressive compared to. Yeah, bees are attracted to CO2, so smoking a cigarette will happily attract bees. Well, I mean, killer bees don't make a problem here in the United States. You hear about them, but in general, they're not a big deal here either. Nozzle, that's what I was missing. Like, it's stereotyped that they're a big deal, but it's not a big deal here. In the South more so than the North, but even then it's not so bad. And all you have to do is if for some reason you get Africanized bees, you just have to change the queen in your hive, and it'll replace all of the bees with non-Africanized. It's not a huge deal. You like stereotypes. Stereotypes are usually spot on. America has a lot of stereotypes, and some of them are true. But not all of them. Like Jaws movies. I mean, that's not an American thing. Sharks will eat you anywhere. Australia's that place where the sharks are all crazy. I love the videos of where they drag the fake seal behind the boat and get the shark to jump out of the water. Shark breaching. Looks amazing. But America does not have anything on Australia when it comes to crazy animals. I swear everything in Australia is trying to kill you. Really? That's how you want to snap in there, sideways. There we go. Yeah, it's the land of killer animals, yeah. They just seem like they're all trying to get you in Australia. What is your problem? You don't want to snap in place, which usually means there's something wrong with this thing that's inside. Something's wrong there. Let's try this again. Get everybody to snap in place one more time. I mean, I imagine Australia is absolutely beautiful. Before something poisons you, envenomates you. Is that right? Alright, we're gonna try a different one. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Is this the last one I've got? Other tier 1s. That's a tier 2. So I've only got this one left. And I think there's something weird about it. How much arcanium have you had to use to paint all that? Ship parts, machinery, thrusters. Oh, don't do that. Okay, how we doing on points? 36,000. I think I need like 150,000. So it's going to be a lot more trips to get those 3 minerals before I can do anything useful. Alright, let's see if you'll snap in there now. We're going to put you both out into space. I do not understand why you will not snap. There's no way to bolt them though. I wish I could get a bolt through the side. Oh, I can. There we go. Now let's see if we can put it in place. I don't think that's... Is that where it goes? No. It's down here maybe? Or is that the problem? Am I trying to put it in the wrong spot? Alright, what are we doing wrong? Amazon is the land of giants. Huh. Well, you said you spent some time in South America, right? Oh, that's because it snaps there. Then why the hell did this one snap in there so easily? Oh, I don't get it. Don't get that at all. Why were you living in South America, Django? That seems like a strange place for a Scotsman. Alright, they're all mounted, welded, semi-bolted. Oh, wow. So next I need to... You had an anaconda tasty once? Oh. You had an anaconda. Just take a little nibble out of one of your legs. Anaconda can be a very large... It's like the third or fourth largest snake, I think. I think reticulated pythons can get bigger than that, but not much else. Some boa constrictors. Alright, so I'm gonna go... What is our... I think... ship parts, ship weapons. We can make 91 more. Nergite, Bastion, Ice. What is the bottleneck once again between Nergite, Bastion, and Ice? Let's see. Nergite. Yeah, how many stacks? 7, 14, 21, 28. Oh, now we're getting crazy. 35. So we got about 39 stacks. Ice. We've got plenty of ice. And Bastion. I don't know why these come up as Bastion, but Bastion is that. Inventory open, close. It's so Nergite is the big one. Oh, Bastion is the second one. Ice is the little one. I was in my head that was the other way around. Oh, just using his tongue to taste the air. And it was able to pick you up? Jiminy Christmas. That's a big snake. So we need to get a load of Bastion and a load of Nergite. And start that back up. And then we'll come back and we'll duct all of, or pipe all of that. Get the rest of it bolted, because I think the thrusters still need bolts through the beams. Then I need to unbolt all of these and replace them with T2s. Hi, Xenon. Once I bolt those with T2s. I just had some thoughts going through my head. That's always scary. Alright, then I can build some more and we can get some more. These points are coming pretty easy. So I can't unlock, well, I can unlock this at this point. But here's a question. Do I have to unlock all 6 of these to get to these 4? Or can I just go down one of these and get the 4 bottom ones? Because I'm really only interested in the gray, black, white, and the orange that's hiding in here. One is enough. So if I come down this row, then I can get to the bottom. So 24, 26, that's 50. Another 36 is 86. Oh, that one's big. 86, 92, 152, 170, 175,000? 175,000 points. I've only got 36. That's gonna be a lot more magazines. Ugh. So, first things first, Bastion. It tells you the total to get to the bottom if you're hovering over the bottom. What, really? So, this one, if I'm looking at the black, well, let's see, 22,000. Oh yeah, I guess I could research, but it's going to go this route. Oh, I see. This is not the price for this one. This is the price for this one and this one. I see. And that one. So I was adding those up. So that should be a lot easier. Like I can go straight here now already. I pulled the trigger. Oh, now I only need 10,000 points to get there. You are so smart, Xena. I thought I had to go through each one of those. That's a lot less points. Well, I was compounding those. I was going to be exponentially more points than I needed. How are you today, Xenon? How's life in Illinois? Illinois, right? It's Illinois? There's supposed to be snow east of me, but I don't think Illinois was on the list of places that was going to get another cold snap and some snow. Yeah, it's sunny. It's nice. It's nice here today. I went out this morning and did some America stuff. Probably can't talk about on stream. But it was a great morning. That's Exorium. I went and oh, what is that? Exercise my constitutional rights, we could say. That is not there. Oh, that's right. I've seen that before. Death talked about that. We ran. Must be where the capital ships kind of park, because I've seen that on the way to somebody's capital ship. You have to get a card to get one. Oh, that's right. You have like that FOID card in Illinois. I mean, you could just go to Indiana. That's what seems to be what everybody else does. Just go to Indiana. That looks like a Gesium and not Bastion, but let's take a peek. Looking awful green from here. Yeah, don't in Chicago you need to have some reason. There needs to be some viable reason why you're requesting the FOID card. You can't just get one for no reason. But even out of state, you should be able to just drive. I mean, you can get one within an hour here in Ohio. You don't need a card. You just have to go through the federal check, which isn't a big deal. Ooh, look how close that was. Gesium. I thought we were far enough out to be past that nonsense. Yeah, yeah, you'd have to look, but I don't think Illinois is a state where you get immediately arrested. I think the city of Chicago you do, but I don't think the entire state of Illinois does. It's not New York yet. I had a buddy who was flying out west to go hunting, and his plane, I think he took off somewhere in the Northeast. I don't know if it was Maine or New Hampshire, one of those states. Might have been New Hampshire. And his flight got diverted. I think he was going to Wyoming or Montana, way out west to do I think it was a bighorn sheep hunt. Why am I catching these and not the ones that I want? Where's my station? Like I shouldn't even, there's my station. Where's the giant asteroid? That's there. I think we just had to go this way a little bit. Anyways, his flight got diverted in flight and he landed in New York State at one of the New York metro airports and was immediately arrested because he had a firearm. And even though it was legal in the place that he left and legal in the place where he was going, it was not legal in New York. So the police met him at the gate even though he had no idea. He didn't do anything wrong and his plane got diverted because of weather. I don't remember if it was weather or traffic, but he got diverted and then arrested. I mean, they got out of it, but he's still... That's Bastion, there we go. He ended up getting out of it, but they would still had to go through the process, and they confiscated his firearms, and he had to get them back. It took months. And everything he was doing was 100% legal, but New York City has laws against that, and the airline was required to... They were required to tell the police, and the police were required to arrest him. He missed his entire hunting trip trying to sort out that whole situation because he got diverted. Yeah, I don't think Illinois is like that. Yeah, he missed the trip too. Yeah. Well, he didn't have any of his all of his hunting gear was confiscated. So he didn't have what he needed to go, and his flight was like delayed, and they ended up having to call it off. Yep. It was a big deal. Big sad waste of time. Yep. I'm trying to think. I'm sure you're familiar with the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, but I think he was a Illinois resident that bought a firearm in Wisconsin. And even though he didn't cross state lines with it, I don't think that was the issue at hand. Like there wasn't any legal issues with him crossing state lines. I'd have to look back at the case information, but I don't think there was an issue with him going between Wisconsin and Illinois. But his wasn't a handgun, so I don't know. I don't know what the law is there. But anyways, that was a weather comment that started that. It's absolutely gorgeous here today. But I was thinking there's snow. There's a storm. It's supposed to be coming overnight. Just move out of Illinois. I watched the weather yesterday. I watched a guy on YouTube called Ryan Hall. He does like national weather, keeps it pretty entertaining. And he was talking about a weather pattern shift that was gonna cause some Canadian air to come down past us, but it didn't look like it was anything serious. But I don't want any more cold. I'm done with cold. I'm ready for spring to start. And the mud to go away. There was a dusting of snow here this morning, but that was it. As soon as the sun came out, it was gone. Yeah, we usually don't plant here till close to Mother's Day as like the last guaranteed frost. I just started some plants the other day, but there's some cold weather stuff. I'll get it started inside and then transfer it outside. Then I'll start some more of the warmer stuff, but usually right around Mother's Day is the last frost potential for us. And that's in May. That's the beginning of May, so if you have cold hardy stuff, it can go out pretty soon. If you throw something over it. So anything that's broccoli or cabbage, kale, cauliflower, anything in the brassicas family. Brussels sprouts are good to start now because they grow so slowly. I don't have the garden space for those big cabbages and cauliflowers, so they take up a ton of space with all the green leaves. Oh, you just you're not healthy, you just want spicy peppers. I just like tasty food, and the garden gives me something, one more thing to keep track of. It's nice. I usually just do I just have a few raised beds, so I do tomatoes. Nobody in my house likes anything spicy. I do tomatoes and carrots. And let's see what else. Oh, green beans. Loads of green beans. Because they're so easy to grow. And I'm trying to think, what else do I have? I do these little tiny bok choys, which most people don't like bok choy, and I don't really like bok choy, but these little teeny tiny ones they grow really fast, and they taste good. They take up no space. I mean, they're only the whole head will fit in the palm of your hand, and they only take like 30 days, so you can do a whole bunch of them. You can kind of tuck them in all around your other plants. Oh, I do cucumbers. That's the other thing that takes up a bunch of space. Because I make pickles. I try to grow stuff that I can can for the rest of the year. Except for tomatoes. I eat tomatoes fresh. I don't can those. I like tomato sandwiches. Come on. I'm trying to be more healthy. This morning was my lowest score on the scale in years. I've lost 27 pounds since the beginning of the year. So I'm doing pretty good. I didn't need another one. I'm proud of 27 pounds. I still have another like 25 to go, so I still have a long way to go. I was genuinely fat. It's getting better. I'm 6'2". I'm just over 40, and I weighed almost 250 pounds. So I was getting seriously fat. Let's see, what time is it? It's 3:45. Okay. Alright, let's see what this guy is. Exorium. I don't want Exorium. I know it's worth money, but I don't want it. That looks like a Geesium. Let's try the next one. Geesium. I didn't find any of these rocks when I first started coming out here. Everyone was Vocarium and Bastium. Got to be at a weird angle. Mazra's capital ship. Far points. Yeah, I'm too far. Not quite in the right spot. I have drifted from my original trajectory. And I think I'm just still at the edge of this. I think I need to be kind of just over there to get more into the zone 2. I wish there was a nice, easy way to tell what zone you were in. But alas, there is not. Alright, let's go for that one. Hopefully it's Valkite shell. One of these should be. Let's not slam into him. Oh. Scanning rocks is the best way to know. Yeah, right, just... But those transition zones can be a little tricky. Like this is a transition zone. See, like that's Vocarium. It shouldn't even be in this kind of shell. Vocarium should be in the Agitite in this point, but these transition zones, you know, anything could be here. So we're actually headed... See, now I'm headed the wrong way again. I want to be towards this rock with my station at my back. Where's my station? Over this way. Yeah, like there. How did you what'd you discover this morning, Django? See, when I get in the, that looks just like just the right thing. So when I get in the right spot, it works. Outside the safe zone, look at the Titanoids. They're markers for the next zone. Yeah, so that's what I got kind of twisted around, and I got the Titan asteroid above us is not that's what I've always used as the reference for zone 2 asteroids. But I just got myself spun around so I wasn't going the right way. Because when I do position myself just right with that asteroid, it seems right. Shouldn't need too much more. Oh, I would be wrong. I still need bunches more. All right. Wonder if Happy's still streaming. Anybody know if Happy's still on? Anytime he's streaming, there's usually a bunch of people over there. He's still on. It's odd for him to be on a Tuesday and not just a Sunday. It's a treat. He hasn't been on other than Sunday in quite some time. Just all right. Ugh. Oh, I gotcha. I was wondering why. Yeah, I noticed he was done early on Sunday, but I didn't watch enough of it to know why. He usually streams for hours and hours on Sunday. Last I looked, he was still working on that meta fighter of his. I only stopped in for a minute today and watched. He was changing out to a new thruster setup. Five to 8 hours normally. That's it's not a meta fighter, it's a light fighter, so not made for direct PvP. It's made for non-consensual PvP, that's where you just shoot somebody else. They don't shoot back. Yeah, I thought he had been working on one that was a meta fighter that was big and had like 30 rail guns on it. The whole front was tiny armor plates. Opportunistic PvP. I think they call that pirating. Just fight what comes up. Go out looking for a fight and find one. Alright. Looks like we're gonna get through another rock before being all the way full. He didn't want to attack, only for defense. Around the... Oh, so people... I didn't know people sold their capital ships. So is the... Oh, the chips are sold. Navigation, you're talking navigation chips? And then that happens around where those nav chips happen to land, the coordinates of the nav chips, so that people hang out knowing that somebody's going to pop in at that time. I suppose that makes sense. Alright, that's another asteroid. Alright, there looks to be a big break line right there. So if I hit it right there, the whole thing should come apart. Or is there another one there? If you buy a nav chip, you jump there and make a new one for your spot, because a lot of the sold chips means there's a lot of caps in one spot. That makes total sense. If you're looking for a fight, go to the place where there's the most action. How much we got? Only got 6 more stacks. So let's find one more little rock. See if we can find a little rock. What's near, but it's hard to tell. Alright, right there. It's hard to tell what's little and what's big. Alright. This'll have to be it for today. gather this and head back. My wife will be home fairly soon, and gotta get dinner ready. Kids all have soccer practice tonight. I have some errands to run. I hope to get more done, but them's is the breaks sometimes. I feel like I should be able to get back on this evening and do some more of this. This evening's probably not later this evening. Oh, maybe not. Because I'm going to try and swap my PC over to the new case. So my PC might be in pieces this evening. If for some reason I'm not on tomorrow, you can be sure that I broke the computer in the process of transferring everything over to the new case. I will make note in Discord, using my phone probably. That should be pretty easy. I've done it enough times, but you never know. Get a bad electrostatic discharge off your hand and fry something. I've never had that happen, but it is a possibility. Alright. PowerPoint station, 5 grand. I'm thinking about doing a long stream, but I would like to figure out what would be the most interesting for you guys to watch. Do we fly somewhere? Or do we do some mining trip? We go to the moon? You know, what do we do for a long stream? You don't want to watch me just build my ship. I figure we should have at least a purpose. Just try to make a little something interesting out of it. Whether I go to the moon and do mining there, or do we just take a trip to Zone 5 and back, which would take hours and hours? Or what do we do? I don't mind doing a long stream. I mean, it could be pretty long if I scheduled it right. And then also, what time? What's the best time for everybody to do a long stream? Moon belt or moon surface? I think the most interesting for you would be the moon belt. You need the ores anyways. Yeah, I need citrite, and I need to make allium. So and there she lands. Long stream Saturdays, 12 hours on a Saturday. I mean, 12 hours on a Saturday. I mean, that doesn't sound impossible. Oh, I do need still need connected for another minute to push this stuff out of my inventory. The moon sounds like a great idea. I could take the Gaia to the moon. That would give me 180 crates to mess with. Strap a moon. I guess we could put a moon station down somewhere. I mean, that could be the stream. We put the station down, and we start mining stuff there, and that would give us a place to place for me to store stuff while we're mining. So that's all good there. H says I can't build any. Oh, because I'm not near a. Oh, I didn't get anywhere near that. Let's go over there. I have a abandoned my moon station a few weeks ago. We go there by capital, so we have a station. I'm not going by capital. I'm gonna do it the hard way. I'm gonna go through the gate, which means I gotta fly back to Origin. Which means a few things. That might be it. We'll take, maybe I'll make a trip and we'll go up to the, down to the bottom of the belt. Put a station right at the bottom of the belt, because I've wanted to do that anyways. And, oh, I love that it pushes things. Turn you off. Get out of the seat. Now I should be able to build some stuff, but we're on the bottom of the ship. Doesn't matter. I still have a station where Yimrium is I can give you access to. I just need, off the bat, I need Sutrite. I need a bunch of Sutrite for glass and for paint. And I will need to make a bunch of allium for a capital ship dock, which I think is just fairly normal minerals. Nergite, something else. Which I can take a bunch of that with me, but I'll have to put in a belt furnace. I can only make 96, so we'll make 50 of them for now. And I'm just going to let those agitate. Look at all those ugly green colors. Back to Origin, to the moon, to Zone 3, not near the gate. Let's say you need around 4 hours with max speed, so let's say 8 hours only for the flying. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll schedule that, because I think it yeah, we'll probably do that in some parts, and we'll see how it goes. But for right now, I am going to say goodbye. I really hope to be back on later, because I didn't get a ton done today, and I'd like to do some more of this. I want to say thank you for watching, for stopping in. Oh, hi, Guard Troll. Cherodium is the big one, not in the Elysian Belt. Yeah, it's also not where I am, so Cherodium is a recurring problem. But today's only Tuesday, so we got a few more days this week together, and then I will talk to my wife and see if I can get some permissions to do a really long stream, because that's really what it comes down to, is scheduling and making sure I'm not going to piss her off. It's just not worth pissing your wife off for no reason. But yeah, again, thank you so much for coming. I am going to push all you guys over to Happy. Is he still on? Then I have to see how do you actually spell his name. Let's look at Happy Trigger. I can never remember where if there's an underscore in his name. Happy Trigger 42. All right, let's see. Once again, thanks you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. A raid has been created. I appreciate you guys, and you have a wonderful night.
Attendez, je me suis fait raid. Hey, Farpoint, hello! How you doing? Choco, this thank you for the raid, Farpoint. Ooh, plenty of people I haven't seen in a while. How you going?
Ugh.
Ah, il m'a pas pris le outcast. I'm just calculating how much. Farpoint, c'est le type qui m'a raid. Oh, pleased to see all of you. I haven't seen some of you in quite some time. What have you been up to?
I turned.
Farpoint.
C'est quoi faire raid? C'est en fait il te met sa
c'est-à-dire en fait qu'il m'envoie ses viewers sur ma chaîne. Nice, I would have rated you if you were still streaming and by the time I finished. Yeah, I'll show you just in a second what I've been up to, but as a teaser, let's just say that I redid the entirety of the back of this ship. So give me just a few seconds and I'll show it. Donc bandit, outlaw,
J'ai un bilingue, Lucho.
oh,
T'inquiète. Moi, je parle ch'ti. Tu veux que je traduise en ch'ti?
non merci, mais c'est
Le
gentil de
théâtre,
proposer.
Je suis en train de faire